What's going on, big long gamers? It's Spencer, and click that title and you want to see a Call of Duty Zombies Maps 2021 update tier list maker. Yep, this is it. If you haven't already, leave a like, subscribe, all that cool nonsense. Really helps out. Plus, I'm not going to do anything harmful to you. Just leave a like and subscribe, please, and thank you. Okay, thank you. Okay, start us off. Jumping in, Origins Chronicles. Okay, this is Black Ops 3 version. I'm gonna put this in an A tier. Okay, the difference between this one and the OG one is that literally the mud in this is just so painfully awful. Like, I don't know why, but the mud is awful in this, and just for some reason you just run super slow in it, even with stamina up. There are a couple good things about it too. Also, the lightning staff gets buffed, the fire staff gets insanely buffed, which is really cool. If it wasn't for the mud alone, I would just kind of keep this back. The panzers are a little bit more weak in this one, so it kind of takes away from that, chaotic Black Ops 2 experience that we all know and love. Some of us not so much. But it's a really good map. I mean, just speaking for both, I'll kind of save the whole love of it for, obviously the original Origins. But yeah, I think a lot of people like this. It got a lot more people to play Origins because, not everyone played Black Ops 2, and Black Ops 3 opened that for a lot of people. So it's good to just explain that, just let it all known. I think everyone really likes Origins, though. Love it or hate it, I think you could say at least the map did pretty good and pretty decent. Second one, Varrock. Okay, so the thing with Varrock is it's a really, really good survival map. I'm gonna put it C. Okay, some of you might be like, yo, what the pretty upset. But here, let me explain. Okay, Varrock, it did a couple of great things, right? Okay, it made what, in my personal opinion, is what Treyarch wanted for zombies. Just this horror experience, terrifying, very hard, chaotic, but it's fun with friends, and you could have a lot of fun just basically just surviving and playing around, right? You only have 4 perks with this map, it introduced perks, which, let's be honest here, this is technically one of the most revolutionizing maps because, without Varrock, we probably wouldn't have perks, right? Maybe another map would have done it in some other timeline, but hey, Varrock, first one to do it, we got to give its props where it's props. Things I don't like about this map too much, anything past round 20 on a 4-player game, not gonna happen, okay? I'm sorry. You could be the best in the world, but let's be honest here, it is insanely difficult. And that's also one of the great things about this map. It is a really hard survival map, and it does add to a challenge. If you're going to play a challenge, you can be like, I want to play Varrock, something like that. It doesn't have a pack-a-punch, bare bones, but just a little bit better than, say, Noct, I would say, at least in my opinion. So I think that's about wraps it up for Varrock. A lot of people, they don't like it too much, but there's others, who do like it. So, if it's like a kind of a like or a dislike. I wouldn't say it's a love-hate kind of relationship with this map. Secondly, or thirdly, I guess, sorry, I'm an idiot, we have the Final Reich. Now, a couple of you might not know this map, but it's on World War II Zombies, and, we all know what happened with World War II Zombies. It was kind of bad. But I'm going to put this on C, okay? It's a very low C, personally. At least that's how I feel about the map. It did a couple good things. It added the horror aspect that Sledgehammer really wanted. World War II Zombies was pretty horror-filled, very scary, dark, literally just brown and white, and a little bit of blue on this map. That's all you're seeing, okay? You don't even need a, HDR TV or a 4K TV. It's literally just 720 darkness, okay? The boss in this map, the whole Easter egg, it's pretty alright. The main thing that really does carry it is the ending. It is pretty cool, actually. You fight this giant mutated boss that really it looks like it's from Resident Evil or just something along those lines. Very horror-ish, scary, terrifying. The only thing that really compares to me this is The Last of Us 2, that kind of Rat King boss. If you guys know what I'm talking about, it literally just reminds me of that. But it's a pretty good map. The pack-a-punch on it, it's fairly simple. It is a little bit, challenging, but, you can get it done pretty quickly. It does have, the most memorable experience in terms of the World War II kind of franchise. It wasn't really all that amazing. I would never be like, let's go play the Final Reich, I've only played it a couple times, but it's pretty decent. It wasn't horrible, I would say, but it, wasn't exactly the best. So I'm gonna put it at a low C. I feel like most people who did play the map can't agree with me on that. I wouldn't say it's an A tier or anything like that. Just put it in its place. Now, Ancient Evil. I've heard really good things about this, but I've never played it. Okay, I'm gonna be honest, most of the majority of Black Ops 4 maps, and you will see later in this tier list, it will just be straight up, most of them are going to maps I've never played. And I mean, for good reason. I mean, no one really wanted to pay $50 for, a season pass that really didn't have much to offer. And one, nobody really played the game after like maybe a couple months. I mean, I really did hear it had some good things about it. I mean, it had things like from Origins. I mean, the 4 wonder weapons, each one different from each other, really powerful. Cool environment. I mean, you literally fight Pegasus in a boss fight. I mean, if I literally did play them up, I feel like I'd rank it B tier or A tier, just because, I mean, literally the boss fight alone, like you're literally fighting just Pegasus and you have Medusa at the end. Pretty cool. I mean, if you don't like Greek mythology, kind of a sham, but I mean, the whole Chaos story was based about, just Greek mythology, and I feel like this is the one map that actually kind of like really ties that in besides 9. All the other maps really, in my opinion, they don't even kind of relate to it. They kind of do, just because the perk machines, at least in my opinion. But, I never really played them all too much, so somebody could be like, oh, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Okay, I'm sorry if I don't know what I'm talking about. I didn't play Black Ops 4 like a normal human being. I'm just playing. But, okay. Mob of the Dead. Now, I feel like everyone could agree on me on this one, okay? Even if you don't like the map, you got to give props where props are due. It has a great wonder weapon. Actually, multiple wonder weapons, okay? I mean, this map literally introduced a variety weapon where you can upgrade the weapon that you already had. I mean, you could literally build the blunder gat into the acid gat, and then you could put in the pack-a-punch, and get that extra damage on top of that, that you already had. So that was pretty cool, and you got those extra shots. It acted like a monkey bomb. Everybody really liked the wonder weapon. I feel like most custom maps even have this wonder weapon. Pretty good, pretty solid. The Easter egg, very easy to understand. I mean, literally 4 people on Alcatraz. One of them is kind of a snitch trying to get away from the others, and they're in this infinite time loop. The guy, the weasel, just gets killed every time, and he has to break the cycle and kill the others. So, pretty interesting, and the lore of the map is actually pretty cool, and it does tie into Ultimus as well, which, is pretty cool. We didn't really know it at the time, the blood vials and all that, but it is pretty cool to just really just play it, I mean, it isn't anything like that's really bad, honestly. I feel like if I were to tell anybody to play a match of zombies with me that never played it, I'd probably tell them Mob of the Dead, because it is simple, but it is also good for like diehard fans of zombies like me, pretty good, just all around. I feel like it just deserves an S tier, and I feel like most people can just agree with me on that. Now, Keynote or Tone, a lot of people would just straight up put it on S, or they just straight up put it in the meh. I'm going to put it as a low B. Now, I am ranking these chronologically in the order that they are in, so keep that in mind as well. But Keynote or Toten, it is a very special map to the vast majority of players. I mean, this is the first map to many, including myself. Black Ops 1 introduced a lot of things, and Keynote or Toten was one of them. I mean, this map had the Thunder Gun, it had the Ray Gun, which was introduced in Nocturne Toten. It had plenty of the perks that we see in Varrock, and also just a lot of people have a lot of experiences on this map, just solely based because, well, it was the starting map, it was free, and it was really good too. I mean, literally, if you weren't playing Kino back then, and back in like 2011, 2010 when Black Ops 1 came out, you probably weren't the cool kid. Let's be honest here. I mean, Kino, really good map. It gets kind of boring after a while, hence why I put it at B. I feel like it is overrated as hell, just in my general preference. I mean, it is pretty fun, but just really speaking nostalgically, it is still a pretty good map to jump back in. I feel like the Black Ops 3 Remaster is pretty good. Not as good, in my personal opinion, just because Kino by itself is just pretty horror-like and pretty good what they were trying to do with Black Ops 1. So I feel like Kino just deserves that spot, and can't just base it off, nostalgia, which a lot of people do. So, it is what it is, but I feel like it's still a pretty solid map, and I feel like a lot of people can agree with me that it's a B tier. Now, we have Bus Depot. I'm going to put this at D, okay? And specifically because it doesn't really have much to offer. I get it is supposed to be more of a bare-bones survival map. Black Ops 2 did offer them quite a bit, but I mean, literally, you don't even have perks. You don't have Pack-a-Punch. You have a mystery box. Your best bet is literally just getting the ray gun out of the box. There's nothing much else that's better than it. But it is, it's there if you want to play it, If you want a challenge, I would say run Bus Depot. There's only like one camping spot and one training spot. Not very good for a 4-player, but it is very chaotic for a 4-player, which makes it a lot more fun, at least in my opinion. You know, Bus Depot, you know, you're usually going to pick Town over it. Town's obviously the more superior of the maps. But, alright, so we have Doris Black Ops 1. Now, there isn't too many differences between Doris Black Ops 1 and, you know, obviously World at War, but personally, I feel like Doris Black Ops 1 is just a little bit better. I do like playing Doris World at War for nostalgia reasons, but for Doris Black Ops 1, it just functions a lot better. I mean, it does play a lot better. The zombies don't grip you as bad. You do not have bouncing Bettys, or you do, I can't remember off the top of my head. I mean, it's like literally like, what, 3 o'clock in the morning for me. So if I make a little mistakes in this, just keep that in mind, okay? I'm tired. But Doris, I just feel like it did bring a lot to the table. I mean, literally Pack-a-Punch. I think the Bowie knife was added in here eventually. Like, it was the first one. Wonderwaff, you can't really forget that. It had the first technical Easter egg. It wasn't a giant one, it was a mini one, but hey, I mean, an Easter egg is an Easter egg. It was pretty cool to have at least some little lore as to what was going on in the story. I'm kind of including this with the World at War version, but I mean, Doris Black Ops 1, you know, it did add the Black Ops 1 weapons, which are better. I mean, let's be honest, they are better than the World at War weapons. The World at War weapons are just kind of bad, but I'll give it Doris a solid, I want to say B, but I'm going to say a high C, at least for right now. It is pretty good. I mean, I do like it, but personally, the World at War maps are a little bit kind of like too bare bone. But actually, you know, I'll give it a B. I'll give it a low B, just because, you know, it is a good map. It did introduce Pack-a-Punch after all. And it's not a bad map, to be honest. I can actually just jump in right now and play it and actually have some fun. It's actually pretty fun, pretty good experience. I mean, it's Doris. I mean, who doesn't like it? Now, Black Ops 1 Shino Numa. Geez, I don't know where to put this. I'm going to put this as a low C, to be honest. I'm not a giant fan of Shino Numa. It's not the environment or anything. I just don't really like the map layout. It's pretty simple, but just kind of meh. I feel like it is pretty cool just because, I mean, you do have the Flogger Trap, you have the Thompson. A couple things I really do like about this map is the moving perks. You don't really know what you're going to get every single time, which I like. I like that chaotic nature of zombies. You know, I don't really like just knowing where every single perk is going to be every map. It fits some maps, but others I wish it would change up a little bit. That's what I liked about Shino Numa. It was one of the maps that actually did change up in the terms of World at War. I mean, if you really go look back, I mean, Shino Numa was at least the more on the experimental side. I mean, you know, it is pretty good. The zombies are a little bit annoying on this map. It's not necessarily them, but just like the water areas, you know, if you're running in them and you get caught up on like round like 20 something, you're probably going to die if you don't have Jug or a Monkey Bomb or, you know, something to protect you. You know, not too much going on within the map. I mean, it is pretty fun for like a challenge or just going back to it and playing it. But just overall, I mean, it is a pretty solid map, but it's not, I wouldn't say the best map, especially even in the World at War and Black Ops 1 sense. It's not the best out of the bunch. I wouldn't say a lot of people like it more than others. I would probably say a lot of people don't like it all too much. But at least for me, I mean, this is my, you know, map ranking. I mean, I don't really care, you know, but it's a pretty good map. I wouldn't say it's D or, you know, just awful, but it's a pretty average map, I would say. I feel like C kind of, you know, gives it the best ranking. Okay. ShangriLa Chronicles. Okay, so the thing with ShangriLa is it's a really good map. I really do like it, but the thing, okay, look, the thing about ShangriLa is, okay, this is the Chronicles version, by the way, so I do like this one a little bit more than the OG one. And it comes with reasons, okay? ShangriLa is a pretty good map, okay? Don't get me wrong. It looks amazing. But the main thing that kills it for me is literally just the size and the replayability. It's not even just based off how hard it is, because I do like a challenge. And I think ShangriLa is one of the more challenging maps. It adds a lot of chaotic nature to the game, and it makes it a lot more fun. The Black Ops 3 version obviously looks really good. It adds Widow Wine. You know, you could say that is an L compared to just taking out PhD, but I think Widow's Wine works a little bit better on this map just because it is a little tight, close quartered. In Chronicles, I mean, you do have double Pack-a-Punch, so it's not as hard. So, I mean, I feel like a lot more people can get into it. The Baby Gun works a little bit better on this map on Black Ops 3, at least in my opinion. It's not as glitchy. Sometimes I've died like in Black Ops 1 because of it, and it feels like it just functions a little bit better in, you know, Black Ops 3. I feel like it's also a little bit more rare. But the main thing that I really just don't really all too much am a fan of is the whole Pack-a-Punch system. I feel like it's really just really bad. I see what they were trying to do, that the Easter egg, you know, they were trying to make it a co-op experience, ShangriLa, make this giant, you know, get your friends kind of game, you know, make it really a fun game. You know, you want to make sure that you have your buddies with you, but for solo, it's not all too grand. I mean, I really do like the monkeys, how you can just basically utilize them to get perks. The napalm zombies, you can utilize them to kill zombies. I mean, they do have really big splash damage and a lot of high damage as well. The shriekers can literally just go to hell. I hate them. They literally just are a walking flashbang that I wish would just die in a hole. But at the end of the day, it is a pretty good map. The only thing that really kills it for me is it's small. The environment is really beautiful, but it's really tight, close quarters, just like a little too tight. Like, I understand what they were trying to do, but at the same time, like, come on, man. Like, it was literally just so hard to the point where you couldn't even really move around the map without a zombie jumping out on you and you're toast by round 15. No game on this goes past, like, round 30 typically. I mean, I've never played a 4-player game, and I've gotten around, like, 35 something. I think the highest I got was, like, 30. And it was just genuine hell. It took forever. But Chronicles, I feel like it's just, I don't know, a little bit better in terms because it's not as like glitchy. But going on, Shadows of Evil. Now, okay. Now, genuinely, I kind of want to just make just another tier here. Look, hold up. Add a row above Shadows of Evil. Now, look. Add that. Okay, I think I'm good, right? Yeah, okay. No, oops. Oh, no, guys, I messed it up. Wait, hold on. No, I removed a tier. I moved it. Oh, guys, I got rid of it. I got rid of S. Oh, my God. S. Add row below. Okay. We fixed it. I made a little L, okay? What? Okay, guys, I'm really just messing up so bad here. Okay. I don't know what I'm doing here. Come on. Wait. S. Okay. I fixed it. Okay. I will definitely get that. Okay. The grand thing about Shadows of Evil, okay, look, it is my personal favorite map. I should just say personal. I'm just going to say favorite. My favorite. That's a little bit better, okay. I would grand this, honestly, I would put it S, but Shadows of Evil has a special place in my heart. Just all around the map is great. I love the layout, the wonder weapon, the Easter egg, the apothecary sword, the train. All of it is really fun. I really do feel like this map was specifically made for Black Ops 3, the Gobblegum system, all that. I mean, hell, this map even has its own personal perk jingles, perk icons, perk machines. All of it is really cool. It definitely does have a lot of flavor. I mean, this is the map that definitely has the most amount of style, personality. It's literally Treyarch's baby. I mean, who doesn't like Shadows of Evil? Even if you're not a diehard sweat, you can really get down with Shadows of Evil. This is one of the maps that is fairly simple, not very hard at all. The rituals would be the only thing complicated about this map, at least in my opinion. This is the one map where you can have fun just doing absolutely nothing, just surviving, but you can also do a lot by crafting the apothecary sword, the apothecary servant, upgrading upgrading little Arnie's. You know, all that cool nonsense is amazing. Now, the great thing about Shadows of Evil also is, well, this is what really makes Black Ops 3. If you realistically think about it from a Easter egg perspective, this sets up everything for Ultimates to continue with their progression that ultimately leads to Tiger Toten. This is the map that ultimately just brings everything together. This map is really fun. The experience of it, the Margwas, I think that's really cool. The Shadow Man, how he plays. Everything is just against these characters, and they're just trying to survive. And it's a really good experience for a casual and, defined player. Plus, it's my favorite, too. I mean, Shadows of Evil, who doesn't like it? I mean, come on, man. It's Shadows of Evil. This is just one of the coolest maps. Just even the concept alone is cool. Now, okay, the Tortured Path. Never played it. Okay, I've heard this map is awful. I can't really say much too about it. It's a World War II map, from what I believe, and it's just all right. Nothing I really played, to be honest. But Shinonuma. Okay, Shinonuma is. I'm going to put Shinonuma above the Black Ops 1 version for the only reason of high rounds. High rounds on Shinonuma World at War is probably going to be one of the most fun things that I think a lot of people can agree with on me. It has a broken like system in it. Like, you get to a specific round on like round 100 something, and you have these insta-kill rounds where you basically just one hit, enemies. And this allows you to go to like the thousands. Like, I think somebody's got even to like 10,000, a little bit higher than that. This is a really kind of a pinnacle for the high round players in the community. I mean, everyone in that group kind of really likes Shinonuma for that alone. I mean, you do have the Flogger. It is a little bit more finicky in terms of a casual experience because, well, the zombies literally have that Gorilla Grip coochie on you. You're not getting away from them. The water, not really good all around, but I really do like this a little bit more just because, well, I mean, you do get that high round experience. I mean, it's a little bit better, at least in my opinion. But actually, no, hold up. I completely messed up here. Let me put those. Okay, that fits a lot better. I don't like the Final Reich that much. Okay, Varrock Chronicles. I'm gonna put this a little bit down in my term, at least. The thing I like about Varrock in the original one, it is absolutely god-awfully terrifying. I mean, this one, it is still pretty scary, but I feel like just the graphical enhancement of it kind of kills it. Same thing with Kino der Toten and, Kino der Toten Chronicles. The great thing about Chronicles version of Varrock is it does add a little bit extra gameplay layer. I mean, Gobblegums do add it, and they kind of do take away from the Varrock experience of it being kind of bare bones, but it does allow for a little bit more gameplay. I mean, you get Pack-a-Punch, you can go farther on the rounds. It's pretty cool. The thing on Chronicles is also the traps. I feel like they're not as useful because, well, in Varrock, you really do need to, essentialize those traps. But the thing I do like a little bit more about Varrock Chronicles is you don't have to just basically de-ride the traps. But I wouldn't say Varrock is lower tier in terms of my opinion. I mean, Chronicles does take away from it a little bit. It's still pretty good, but at the same time, it's just not the same. And I feel like most people can agree with me on that one. It's not as scary. It is still pretty good, but usually when I'm playing Chronicles maps, I'm not going to boot up Varrock, at least in my opinion. Now, okay, Blood of the Dead. Jeez, I gotta add another tier for this one. Here, add a row below. Okay, and it's gonna be no, oops. Here. Okay, cool. We're gonna pain. No. Pain. Just pain playing these maps, okay? I'll change the color just a little bit. It's going to be purple. Okay. So the thing about Blood of the Dead is you literally remaster something amazing, and you just I wouldn't even call it a remaster at that point. It's just a whole different experience from Mob of the Dead. See, Mob of the Dead, it's a great map. It's not anything out of this, like, how would I say this? It's a serious map, but it doesn't take itself too seriously to where the point where every time you want to boot it up, you don't have to sweat your balls off. See, with Blood of the Dead, you play this, you're sweating your balls off every single time you play it. I mean, literally, it's just pain. I mean, just starting it up. You start in this one area of the map, you never go back there again. The catwalk, kind of cool idea. they kind of really just ruin everything. I mean, the Ultimus crew going on it, kind of cool, but it would have been better just to have the Mob of the Dead crew, at least in my opinion. Just have them back, do something really cool. But they just add a lot of things that aren't really necessary to this map. I mean, the Hell's Retriever on this map, literally useless. I mean, you have Wraithfires, you spawn in with the best weapon in the game. Why go for anything else? The Blundergat is pretty alright. I mean, you can really just run the Helion Salvo, and it'll do better than the Blundergat. The Blundergat kind of just feels like a regular weapon, at least to me. Not too good. The whole perk system within, you know, Black Ops 4 kind of ruins it. I mean, you don't really get all too much as you would in Mob of the Dead. Plus, the weapons don't really match it all too much. The Easter egg is crummy. The only good part about it is the end. The only part that really makes sense is the end of the Easter egg. I mean, the bird step's kind of cool. Really just a pain in the ass half the time. Every part of this map just is just a general pain in the ass. Not really fun either. Like, I play it and I'm not really having fun half the time. Okay, well, Descent. Never played this. Looks pretty alright. I wouldn't rank it really anything high. I'd probably rank it in a D tier or a very, very low C tier. The thing about Exo Zombies is, well, it's cool. It was a cool concept. I really did enjoy it while I did play it. I didn't play it all too much, but you can't. Okay, the thing about this is the story is pretty alright. I mean, it's pretty okay. Descent, I would say, out of all the maps, is probably one of the better tiers of it. But then again, I didn't really play it, so I can't speak for it. But, I don't know. It was a cool concept being underwater in an Atlas area. I thought that was kind of cool. But yeah, I mean, not much else about it. I didn't really play it. Now, Der Eisendrache. This is one I have played, okay? Der Eisendrache is a solid S, okay? And the great thing about this, actually, you know what? I'm gonna put it right here. Come on, wait. Mob of the Dead, move back. Okay, the thing I like about Der Eisendrache is, the only thing I do like about it more than Mob of the Dead is the wonder weapons, okay? I feel like to have a grand map, you need at least just a really, really just memorable wonder weapon. I feel like the bows beat it just a little bit, just because there's 4. You know, the Blundergat does have, you know, the elemental things like the Acid Gat, and then also the Pack-a-Punch Acid Gat. Can't remember the name. But yeah, that's really it for that. I mean, it is pretty good of a map. Der Eisendrache, I mean, you have this really cool layout. I mean, you're in a freaking castle. The map looks beautiful. It's one of the most stunning maps on Black Ops 3, hands down. The gameplay of it is really good. I mean, it is very easy to remember, too. You have 2 areas of the map, a rocket pad, a moving Pack-a-Punch, a really easy, rememberable bow kind of upgrade system. I mean, you just fill up 3 dragons, and then you go around the map, collect arrows, upgrade them based on it. They all have the same amount of effort that you have to put in. It's like a layered, like 3 terms. A couple of them are a little bit harder, but they all have 3 terms of how you progress them. And it's pretty easy to remember how to do them as well. I mean, once you watch a couple of videos, you'll remember how to do it. Honestly, everybody remembers how to, you know, what's it called? Do the electric bow. I feel like that's just kind of everyone knows about that. But yeah, just a really good map. The Easter egg's really good. It, you know, kills off, you know, Dempsey, the Ultimus, I think. I don't know the names, to be honest with you. I always get them confused. Just a really good map. A lot of people like this map. You're playing with friends for a casual experience. This is your map. I mean, everybody loves this map. Everybody could do the Easter egg. It's one of the more easier ones in terms of Black Ops 3. It's a really good experience, and if you haven't played it, genuinely do it. It's one of the more fun maps for sure. Black Ops 3 was filled with kind of like sweatier maps, but this is the one that's kind of more casual and more rewarding. I would say it's like Origins in a term, but it's just easier to do things, and bows feel a little bit more fun, but the stats are a little bit better. Now, Zombies and Spaceland. Okay, I love this map. Okay, the cool thing about this map is you're literally in a theme park, okay? It has a lot of 80s theme to it. You can, just off the start, you can tell you're in an 80s theme. I mean, even the characters are dressed like people from the 80s. You have a jock, a nerd, a bimbo kind of cheerleader girl, and then you have just a baller, you know, pretty 80s stereotypical people. But the cool thing about this map is, well, how do I describe it? Okay, you're surrounded. You're surrounded by games, tickets, prizes, and they're actual usable. Usually in a zombies experience, you're not allowed to use the things around you. But boy, oh boy, Spaceland flips this on its head. I mean, you can go into an arcade, play basketball, skee ball, dance, play old Activision games, and actually use the rewards from that to gain actual in-game usable equipment. I mean, you could get a black hole grenade, the golden teeth for the dragon, or the little toy ride thing. I don't even know what you'd call it. Crush the zombies, pretty good trap. Rewind grenades, parts to get the upgrades for the wonder weapons. Speaking of that, the wonder weapons, you know, you have these 4 little alien blasters, which ties into the Easter egg, which you have to literally send off an alien into the Rocky Mountain, I think it is, or the Icy Mountain, and destroy aliens. You have, you know, these cool little blasters that really feel like an arcade-ish kind of Spaceland kind of feel, and it really ties into it well. Each one is pretty unique in terms of how they play. I mean, you have like the head cutter, kill zombies with the heads, the ones that blast, just all around cool. I mean, this is the map that actually introduces a little bit more in terms of perk slots. You know, you get 5 instead of 4. Pretty cool just to start off to increasing. And I mean, you get bomb stoppers, which is PhD, which just pairs well with the Kindle 44. If you have not played this map, genuinely it carries Infinite Warfare. I know a lot of people bash Infinite Warfare. Zombies in Spaceland, pretty good. I would rank it higher. But in terms of solo, you don't really get to play all too much of the games because the zombies will just slap your balls around all the time. So, you know, that's kind of, you know, painful, but it is still a good solid map and it's really fun. The clowns are also really cool. They're terrifying, but they're really cool. The Darkest Shore, I've never played it. World War II game, can't really speak for it. Voyager Despair. Pain. Okay, the thing about Voyager Despair, it has one of the coolest concepts, the Titanic. And it just butchers it. I mean, what can I say? It is a really cool idea. I see what they're trying to do, but the main problem with this, it isn't the open areas of the map. It's the interior, which is literally just the main part of the Titanic, right? I mean, okay, number one, you go into these tight corridor areas. It's not too bad on the lower rounds. You mainly get your perks in here. You don't really stay in here much longer. But when you're on higher rounds, the literally just the worst experience you could ever get. I mean, literally just having this, just this in general is just not fun. It's the wonder weapons kind of like flimsy. It's not too good in terms of like just wonder weapons all around. It's pretty all right when you just look at Voyager Despair. It is better to use it on Voyager Despair than just say like a Spitfire or the KN-57. You know, you're only going to really run it because it's going to outdo the other weapons just by a tad bit. The Easter egg is pretty alright. I mean, it's all pretty lackluster until you get to the boss fight, which is one of the redeeming factors of the map, but it's not enough to carry because, well, you have to play 2 hours of it and stress your balls off. And then you get to have fun, which is kind of like really poor. I don't really see how you shoot planets. I really don't get that, and I still will never understand that. The overall experience of the map isn't very fun. I mean, with, you know, the giant bosses, the ones who throw their axes. I can't even think their names because I don't really play Black Ops 4. They're really bad when it comes to the sense of being inside. I mean, draining the water is pretty alright. It's kind of cool how the Pack-a-Punch works, but it can be really annoying at times when you're stuck down in those areas because, well, you're literally screwed if you get caught up. I mean, perk system kind of ruins it too because you don't really have too much perks. If you don't have stamina up on this map, you're toast. I mean, I can go on and on. Not a very fun experience. Buried, on the other hand, is a grand experience, and parts of me want to put it on A, but there's a little bit I would change. Okay, Buried is a very high B tier for me. Okay, the really good thing about Buried is, well, it does a lot of things. You can build your weapons. Yeah, you heard me. You build your weapons with chalk, and the cool thing about this chalk is when you obtain it and you use it, you get points for it. So it rewards you for doing simple things. So, you know, you're not really burning yourself when it comes to actual points here. It introduces Voltrade, one of the best perks in Call of Duty Zombies. Don't at me. It's really great. Also, the Easter egg for this map is pretty cool. You have two directions you could take. You could take the Maxis side and the Richtofen side. You know, obviously Cannon is the, you know, Richtofen side, and pretty cool. I mean, the zombies' eyes literally change. You know, Stuhlinger talks like Richtofen. Pretty cool. The whole like narrative actually changes, like the narration when you pick up like max ammos, nukes, all that cool. It'll turn to Samantha, which is definitely a lot more different, and it's pretty cool. The witches in the whole witch house situation, a lot of people bash the whole witch house, but if you're careful and you coordinate it, you can't lose points all too hardly, and you get a free perk, so you can really get unlimited perks on this map, which is also a fat bonus. The only thing I really don't like about the map is how Leroy, if you shoot him too many times, like by accident, he'll run away. Kind of annoying. Also, there's a couple of glitches that can actually get you killed. There's also a couple glitches that can actually benefit you. Overall, Buried is one of the more redeeming maps when it comes to Victus. When it comes to the term of actually thinking of Victus maps, I'm thinking of Buried. Really good, solid map. I feel like it's a little slept on when it comes to the sense of actually like people picking their maps. And actually, I'll rank it an A. It did a lot of good things and a lot of not so little, you know, like just a lot of good things and not so many bad things, which is really fun. It's really fun. I really liked it. And the Paralyzer, I mean, how can I even not talk about that, right? I mean, it's literally the Paralyzer. Now, before I, you know, don't want to de-write it too hard. Okay, the Grossen House, never played it. Heard it's like Nuketown kind of. Alpha Omega, never played it. Heard it was really bad. I see how it's really bad. The really bad thing about the map, it's literally overdone content. We've had Black Ops 1 Nuketown, Black Ops 2 Nuketown, Black Ops 3 Nuketown, Black Ops 4 Nuketown, Black Ops Cold War. I can just go on and on, okay? Making it a zombies map twice, not a good idea. Overdone. I thought just the whole, just all-around map is just reused assets. I mean, the Nova Crawlers that shock, they turn off power from what I've seen. Not very cool. The Wonder Weapon, reused asset. I'm pretty sure, you know, the Easter egg, reused asset. I mean, it's literally just, you know, what's her name from Gorod Krovi, you know, the bot lady, the whole, you know, Rushmore kind of guy. Just copy and paste ultimately. Can't really say too much, but kind of bad. Call of the Dead. Oh, okay. So the great thing I love about Call of the Dead, I really do like it. I feel like it is a solid B tier though. I do like it more than Kino, but I do see how people like Kino a little bit more. The thing about Call of the Dead is it is really cool. It was the first celebrity cast experience, and it is, you know, a pretty cool snowy area. You do get the scavenger in the VR11. They are all too amazing. They're more so unique to the map. They're really fun to play with, not really reliable after round 35. But the cool thing about this map is also George Romero. You have a boss zombie who is kind of the reason I put him a little bit lower than A and S. He's a little too overpowered, but the reward you get from him is actually pretty good. You get a free perk. It doesn't seem like much, but on Black Ops 1, this is actually a pretty big deal. I mean, you can't really get, you know, 5 perks unless you know, do things like this. He has a little too much health. He has about 250,000 per character in the lobby. So a solo, 250,000, 2 players, 500, you know, etc., etc. Has a little too much health for my taste. The map layout, actually pretty good. I like the whole fling around the map and the zip line. I think that's pretty cool. You don't have to run around the map the whole entire time. I feel like Jug is like very, very odd comment, but I feel like Jug's in a very obscure location. I feel like it's just way too far down. The ice water, it makes sense. It kind of gets a little bit annoying in terms of when you train, especially in the starting room area. Not very fun when you just freeze up all the time. You know, it doesn't offer all too much of weapons, but that's just kind of a Black Ops 1, like just the whole entire thing. I really do like Call of the Dead. The Easter egg, kind of lacklustery. I mean, not really all too much to offer. It's kind of cool. You know, you get to hear the characters behind a door, but you don't really get to see them or anything like that. It just leads up to ShangriLa, which is kind of cool. But that's it for Call of the Dead. I really do think it's one of the better Black Ops 1 maps. Now, Nocturne Toten, okay. You cannot rank this lower than like a C or like a high B, okay? The thing about Nocturne Toten, I'm gonna put it behind Shinonuma, okay? Nocturne Toten, literally the birth of zombies, you know, can't really rank it all too much lower. The only thing I genuinely just don't like about this map is how slow it is at first. I mean, I'm okay with the whole not pack-a-punch or perk thing. I think it's kind of cool. It adds to the experience, you know. You're playing the first map ever. You know, you don't really want to, like, just be overpowered on this map. It's just fun to play when you just, you know, don't really have much else to do. The whole sniping thing with the Car 98K is pretty cool. There's no real Easter egg to this map. It introduces the ray gun. Pretty fun. I mean, it's pretty simple. Don't open the, you know, the stair couch. Never do that, but not much else to say about Noct. It would be a little bit higher in terms if it had a little bit more stuff, but that, I think that's its kind of characteristic, is being kind of bland and bare bones. Gorod Krovi, okay. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I do like this more in Spaceland, but I don't like it as much as Origins. See, the thing about Gorod Krovi is, actually, you know, I do like it more than Origins. Chronicles version, at least. Okay, if I can move it. Okay. Gorod Krovi, really good map, okay? It doesn't, in terms of technicality, offer as much as Origins Chronicles version, but it does have a really good Easter egg, in my personal opinion. I feel like it's the best one in Black Ops 3. Hardest boss, funnest boss. It has a pretty cool wonder weapon. I mean, it kind of is just the Ray Gun Mark III, but it's not as powerful as you'd think. I mean, I think the Ray Gun Mark II is actually a little bit better. It kind of drops off around 55-ish, I believe, I think. You know, the whole shield situation, I know, little odd thing as well, but we get literally the best shield in Cod Zombies, and no one can say otherwise. The whole dragon shield, being able to breathe fire, block fire, and just absorb a lot of mangler hits is pretty cool. I know it is very specific to this map alone and also Revelations, but it is still a very unique addition, something that is different. I wish a perk was introduced on this map based off of the whole dragon situation. I thought that would have been cool, but they didn't do it. Very unfortunate. But the whole crew just kind of settling in. I mean, this was at a very high peak of zombies, and I feel like everyone could kind of agree on that. Really fun experience. I mean, you can go in here. It's a little bit more on the sweaty side. You know, it does have a lot to offer, though, in terms of just gameplay. I mean, you can get melee weapons from the Time Trials, which is the first map to introduce those. Also, it does introduce a bunch of side Easter eggs and unique traps and abilities. I mean, the whole ability to use a dragon on your fist and also just swarm punch zombies, really cool. Gets you out of basically any sticky situation, depends on how you use it. But just overall, Gorod Krovi, I mean, pretty good experience. The only thing I don't like about it too much is the bomb step. If you're on solo, if you mess up, you're toast. There's nothing you can do. You just blow up. Now, we have the bad boy Doris. Okay, the cool thing about Doris is that it's the first map to introduce Pack-a-Punch. I mean, what can I say? I'm gonna put this at a here. I'm gonna put this at B tier. Now, the difference between this map and Kino de Toten is Doris just adds, it just doesn't have as much space in terms of actually just like playing. I mean, when you think of Doris, I mean, the cool thing about it is it literally just does everything perfect in terms of a small map. You want to play a survival map, you're playing this. It's great, it's fun, lots of fun experiences. A lot of people remember this specifically for the Bouncing Betty strat. I mean, it was so much fun just camping on the catwalk. You just got your Browning, 4 buddies, Bouncing Betties, Jug, Speed Cola. You were set. Okay, and maybe you had Quick Revive for bad people, but, you know, that's besides the point. First map to introduce Pack-a-Punch, like I said, you know, adds a completely whole different aspect and revolutionized, you know, zombies like Varrock did, like I mentioned earlier. You know, perks, Pack-a-Punch, really good combo. A lot of people really dig this. This really made, you know, zombies take off, and Doris walked so Kino could run. That's the best way I can explain it. Pretty solid map. Now, the Giant is, I mean, I wouldn't rank it as B just because, you know, it's just a remaster. I'm going to say more so it's kind of like, it's not bad, but it's literally just a remaster. I mean, you can't really come on, Nocturne, don't move. There we go. Okay. It's not bad, but I'm just really ranking it a C because, well, it's just a remake of Doris. I mean, technically speaking, if Doris wasn't here, I'd put it for Doris. But it adds, you know, cosmetic effects. It adds the Easter egg. You know, the Easter egg on Doris, you're rewarded with a Annihilator. Not really useful. The Wonder Waff is a little bit better on this. You know, you don't kill yourself with, not kill yourself, but take away Jug. So that's pretty cool. Not really too much to say about the Giant, you know, it is what it is. Now, Nocturne Toten Chronicles, I'm going to rank it a little bit lower than the OG one. Now, Nocturne Toten, if you want to have a little bit more higher of an experience, play this one. If you want the OG version, play this one. The reason why I put Nocturne Toten lower is because, well, the perks kind of take away from the experience. Now, I do like perks, don't get me wrong, but I feel like Nocturne Toten is the first map, and it just deserves not to have the perks and just be what it is and what it was meant to be. Nocturne Toten Chronicles, you get the Gobblegum, kind of, you know, takes away from the experience, the whole Pack-a-Punch thing. It is pretty useful, but at the same time, not really, you know, useful, because, no, they are useful, but it just takes away from the experience, in my opinion. Now, Togger Toten, never played it. You know, I don't really know what else to say about it. You know, not really good. Now, Die Rise, a lot of people bash it, but it's pretty bad. I understand. The only reason why I kind of like this map is for nostalgia reasons. I just played this map a lot, so, you know, pretty okay. But yeah, I mean, there's a whole situation with the elevators, the whole towers, verticality. Literally, the one map that needs PhD the most PhD map, you don't get it, which makes absolutely no sense. Okay, but you know, the Easter egg really doesn't make all too much sense. All they would really have to do is change the elevator system, add PhD, and you know, that would make the map a little bit better, change the layout a little bit. But a couple of redeeming factors about this map is, well, you do get this liquefier. I feel like that's just a genuine thing. You do have an N94 and PDW wall buy. I know that seems very like small, but they're, you know, come on, they're pretty good weapons. I mean, hands down, they're pretty good weapons. But it's gonna really wrap it up for Die Rise. Not really good. Challenge Shuffle, I played it once. Not very good, to be honest. Very kind of chaotic. It's very small kind of experience, you know. It's not very good. It's very cluttered. The whole, you know, ninja thing, I think, is really the only redeeming factor. The Easter egg's pretty okay. Wouldn't say it's the best. Kind of annoying to do, but I don't know. Not much to say about Challenge Shuffle. It's not too good, in my opinion. Now, Zetsubo no Shima. Now, this is where things get interesting. I do like Zetsubo no Shima. I'm going to put it right here. I'm going to split these bad boys up. Okay, Zetsubo no Shima. One thing I really don't like about it is the Easter egg and how much points it takes to open this map. I mean, Zetsubo no Shima adds a lot of characteristics to zombies. I mean, you literally get a swim, you get a gas mask. You know, the KT4 is pretty cool. It does a pretty good amount of damage. It's just a slow killer, kind of like the Ice Staff. But it is a pretty good experience. I would say that out of all the Black Ops 3 maps, just the OG ones, it's not the best. It's kind of more on the worst side. I mean, it is, that doesn't mean it's not a good map, but just really, it's just a little too big and it's just too expensive. If it wasn't as expensive, it would be a little bit better. But, and also the power situation, I don't think that's really, it was cool. I thought it was a cool idea, but also, you know, just, it's not very fun at the same time when you just have to do that every single time. I mean, if you mess up, if you take too long, you got to redo it over again. Plants vs. Zombies, literally just that. I mean, the Easter egg is just collect cogs. Not very cool. Yeah, I mean, it does have a lot to offer, though. I think the ending is pretty cool. The boss fight's pretty yeah. The whole Spores thing is kind of annoying, too. But Spider Bait's pretty cool, too, at the same time. Now, Town. I like Town. I think we could all agree on Town. It's a pretty good map. I'll put it right here. A lot of average maps, okay? Town, I wouldn't say is bad. It's very fun, actually. And the reason why I put it at C is because, well, it's very fun, very friend-friendly, but it doesn't have too much to offer outside of Pack-a-Punch. You know, you get your perks. You can literally start around 25 and get everything off the start. Kind of killing gameplay, but, you know, usually people don't do that. It's pretty cool to get, like, a DSR, you know, Mustang and Sally, try to survive as long as you can. It's pretty fun. I wouldn't say it's the best experience, but it is definitely the best survival experience in my terms, at least. I think it's very fun in terms of just the chaoticness. I mean, you can just get stamina, jug, quick revive, you know, speed cola. You can do the little jailbreak kind of glitch where you can get all the perks. You know, that's pretty cool. You know, grief on this map, pretty fun. Not much to say about Town. I mean, the lava is pretty annoying. It'd be a little bit higher if it wasn't for the lava. But yeah, that's really it. Now, Nocturne, Toten, Black Ops 1 Zombies. I'm gonna just put this, to be honest, like right here. I feel like, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of like the Chronicles version a little bit more. I feel like, actually, nah, I can't take that back. Okay, so Nocturne, Toten, it literally just adds one thing on Black Ops 1, is actually two. Mule kick, different guns. That's it. I mean, not much else to say. I mean, that's it. Now, Dead of the Night, never played it, but what I've heard, there's like 72 spawn points for everything. I mean, who would want that? I mean, the concept is pretty cool. I like that, like the map. I think it's really aesthetically cool looking. It is a pretty alright wonder weapon. The Easter egg is pretty alright. I mean, I don't like the whole Nosferatu's and like werewolf things. I never played it, but just gameplay wise, I don't think I'd enjoy it, just personally. Now, it is pretty alright, but just the whole vampire situation just seems kind of meh and very irritating. But Ascension, here's what I think. Black Ops 1 Ascension 2. Black Ops 1 Ascension, I'm going to put this right here, okay? The grand thing about Ascension is it does add some pretty cool things. Starting off, you start off in a black and white kind of mode, and you're basically stuck in that until you get Pack-a-Punch turned on and the power turned on. Now, the thing about this also is, it literally, you have the best training spot. You have PhD right next to it, and you have the first Easter egg ever in Zombies in terms of actual grand Easter egg. The thing about this map also, it does have the ray gun, you know, it does have a lot of replayability. It adds Gersh devices. You can blow up the freaking rocket, which is so cool. It adds stamina up. Overall, just really cool. I mean, Verkuskadals, pretty cool. The map is just a really noob friendly, I would say. It's a little bit not so noobish. It kind of, you could see where that's like the Zombies experience is kind of developing into something a little bit bigger. You know, Keynote or Toten, you know, just from these three maps, you can see how they develop. It's getting a little bit more up in there, you know, not too hard, but still very fun experiences. Now, Raven the Redwoods, never played this one. I've heard it was a little bit better than Shell and Shuffle, but at the same time, I mean, Raven the Redwoods, it looks kind of cool. The whole, you know, drug mode where you just look in the wood, you know, the redwoods, pretty cool. I heard the Easter egg's not very cool. The boss fight looks cool though. Just meh, to be honest. Frozen Dawn, never played it. Infection, I'm gonna put that right there, okay? Actually, okay, Infection, I'm gonna put it on a D, okay? The main thing I don't like about this is the whole kind of infection area thing. I think it's really tedious, annoying. The Easter egg is pretty alright. I don't really like flipping burgers for an Easter egg. It's very meh, to be honest. I mean, it's not very fun. I'm not going to be like, oh boy, let's play Infection. It's okay. Actually, you know, I'm just going to put it in Pain. I'm going to put it at the top of Pain, okay? It's not very good. I mean, it doesn't really bring too much to the table. It brings like the EM1 kind of laser beam gun. But that's really about it. I mean, there's not much else to say. Pretty alright. Not many people like Exo Zombies, including myself. Now, Classified, I'm going to put this right here. Actually, maybe a little bit higher, but I'm not too much of a big Classified fan. I kind of like the Black Ops 1 version, just a little bit more. Just because it's, you know, 5. I think it's a little bit more fun. I think Classified does it better. But just personal preference, I do like 5 a little bit more just because it's a lot more fun, and the characters, I think those are pretty cool. Also, just overall how the map plays, I do like how the whole, you know, what's his name? Pentagon Thief, I like him a lot. But like in Classified, it takes away from that. You know, you don't really have him. You have the shield. It really takes away from the chaotic nature of 5. But it's not necessarily bad, though. Shattered Throne, never played it. D-Machine, ooh, okay, so we got some new ones here. D-Machine, where would I put this in terms of actual gameplay here? I think I would put it, I'm going to put it behind Town. D-Machine, pretty fun. I mean, it does have a pretty simple Easter egg. Everything about this map is very simple. It's very simple beginning. I mean, it is really what it is. I mean, they try to just copy that Nocturne Toten vibe where, you know, just a very simple beginning. Pack-a-Punch, very easy. Camping's pretty good on this map. Training's pretty good on this map. The whole introducement of score streaks, perk systems, I thought it was really good. I feel like the score streaks and, you know, the perk system is really what carries the map. I feel like D-Machine by itself on a Black Ops 3 system or a custom zombies, you know, it wouldn't play as well, and it wouldn't be as fun. It gets bland fairly quickly. I mean, if you're not streaming this or playing with friends, not very fun by itself, but it is still a pretty good map and one I can actually play and not kind of hate myself for it. I also do like how the Wonder Weapon is. I know a lot of people bash it, but if you have Ring of Fire, it's actually pretty good when you do the Ultra Shock movement. But, you know, Ray Gun also introduced back on this map and is absolutely way better, but it got nerfed. All right, now what do we got here? We got Varrock, Black Ops 1. Okay, I'm just gonna put this right here. Now, Black Ops 1 version, it adds literally just a couple different weapons, at least in my opinion. I feel like just graphically a little bit better. You know, you could play as the characters. You know, it's not as sticky, but I do like the OG version of Varrock. Not much else to say about it, right? All right, I kind of seen that big head right there. Origins. Now, I can never pick if I like Origins or Mob of the Dead more. See, the thing about it is, it's pretty good. I'm going to say Origins a little bit better on just a term of scale. I mean, you have a little bit more to do. It's more player fun in terms of actual grinding. I do like Mob of the Dead, but after round 30, not much to do. After round 30 on Origins, you can still be upgrading. It's chaotic. Panzer all the time. You know, Brutus really isn't much compared to the OG Panzer, at least in my opinion. I do think the whole Brutus thing taken away, you know, not taken away, but making perks more expensive, locking them out, all that, kind of cool, but kind of really irritating. Like, that's kind of like the breakthrough. Also, you have elemental staffs on this map. The Easter egg, my opinion, a little bit bigger on experience, ties in the community a little bit more. Really fun, really great. But, I mean, also, you know, everyone loves Origins. It's really good. Moon on Chronicles. Okay, I really do like Moon on Chronicles, actually. I'm not going to lie. Okay, so I'm going to put this right here. Okay, Moon Chronicles, I will put this right here just because, well, it's not in the terms of the same experience. I honestly kind of do like the Moon experience a little bit more, just because I feel like Widow's Wine works on this map a little bit better. The Space Dog kind of Easter egg is pretty cool. The Wave Gun feels a little bit easier on this, you know, and also you can have a little bit more fun on this. At least it feels like in terms of my gameplay experiences. I mean, the whole just astronaut kind of experience, I'm going to pair the two kind of together, the OG Moon and the Chronicles. The whole just cosmonaut, just cruising around all the time, I feel like that's pretty cool. I do like the Easter egg, one of the best Easter eggs of all times. I do not care. Really great tie-in to Black Ops 2. It literally just directly ties into it. No kind of interruptions. It literally just picks up right where it left off. The whole switchment of characters, also really nice as well. I mean, you can't really like, you can't say Moon's a bad map. I do see how people don't like it as much as I do, but it still is a pretty good solid map. I wouldn't rank it at A, but just personally, I do think it's a B. Some people would put it C, which I could agree with, but nothing lower than a high C, at least in my opinion. It does bring a lot to the table as well. I mean, one of the more expansive Easter egg, and also, I mean, it did get leaked back in the day, but I mean, you can't really blame that on the map itself, right? Now, farm, I'm going to put this behind, actually, I'm going to put this in front of Bus Depot. Now, the thing about this, it's literally the same thing, ultimately, the same space, but you get 2 mystery box locations, grief, and you have perks. Literally only difference, I would never play it. Attack of the Radioactive thing, never played it. I heard it was pretty okay, the boss fight's pretty fun. ShangriLa, now ShangriLa, I'm going to put this a little bit lower than the Chronicles version, just because I feel like having Gobblegums adds the extra layer of experience. You know, I like the whole Easter egg kind of thing that happens in ShangriLa, but also, you know, it is pretty annoying just trying to solve it by itself. You know, not very good at the end of the day, but very similar towards ShangriLa. I mean, I do like the Easter egg, but the whole 4-player kind of gets a little irritating. Beast of Beyond, you know, I'm noticing I have not played a lot of these zombies maps. Okay, not at all. Never played it. Moon. Okay. Moon is here. Wait, hold up. Let me scroll up a little bit. And towards the bottom. Moon. I'm not gonna lie. It's gonna go right there. Now, Moon, a little bit more different when it comes to the terms of actual like gameplay, but it's usually just about the same. There's only a couple key differences in between the two, which is, you know, all right, but it's not the best. you know, I feel like the Chronicles version is just a little bit better. You know, they are very, very similar though, so you can't really disregard one or the other without kind of just getting in the way of the others. Oh no, oh, no, 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 no. Okay, oops. Cameras, I made a mess up. Okay, so now we have ShangriLa Chronicles. Honestly, I'm gonna put this in a D tier. I'm gonna put this as a high D. Okay. Now the cool thing about Chronicles is that, well, you know, the thing about it is it kind of takes it away from the original ShangriLa experience. I mean, I can't really separate them all too much usually when I compare these, but ShangriLa has a little bit more of a difference. Okay, you don't get the Thompson, you don't get any of the cool weapons, which you can't blame it on Chronicles itself. But the whole flogger situation, I feel like it's not as good. The weapons just kind of don't really compare, and having the non-insta-kill rounds kind of makes it annoying. The water on this, I feel like it's a lot more slow for some reason. It kind of just gets really annoying, but that's just me on Chronicles version at least. But okay, so I do have 9 here, and 9 is a very, 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 very good map, and it's one I can't even lie about, okay? I'm gonna put this personally over Kano or Toten. Now call me crazy, okay? This would be a better map if it just had the Black Ops 3 system. It has a pretty alright story, but I'm gonna base this one just solely off gameplay, okay? It has 4 separate areas that are very equal in the same length. I mean, you have a below area, you have a top area, and then you also have the top, you know, with the perks, you know, I could just say triple story or, you know, middle, you know, but I'm gonna say top. Okay, so the thing with IX, it does have a pretty cool boss fight. I will admit that. You get to fight an elephant, which is, you know, pretty big plus. You get a scorpion as a wonder weapon. It really does fit the whole gladiator aspect of that they were trying to go for in Greek mythology, which I think they did kind of spot on. The thing about it I do not like, though, is the whole just extra bosses, like the Cod Zombies, the really tall ones that look like they just like snorted crack cocaine, and then also the axe throwing ones. Those ones are a little bit bearable. I think the tigers are pretty cool. I think the whole pack-a-punch system is pretty cool and solid. I don't think they overdid it. I don't think they went over the top like they did with Voyager Despair. It's an all-around just solid map, and I feel like a lot of people agree with me. And even if you don't like Black Ops 4, this is the one map that I feel like, in my opinion, is at least the most bearable. Now 5 has a special place in my heart, okay? Now it's pretty good. I do like it a little bit more than Varrock. I feel like it's more chaotic. It's not as scary. But the thing about Varrock and 5 is 5 has just a little bit more in terms of gameplay variety. I mean, you have a bigger map. You're in the Pentagon, for all sakes, you know. You have the Winter's Howl. Awful still is content. The ray gun, you know, the Varrock has that in common. You know, you do get Mule Kick on this map, so that's kind of a plus also if you do like that. You know, you have a little bit more in terms of gun variety. You have the Pentagon Thief, which is, you know, something along that lines of content is not within Varrock. There's a Pack-a-Punch machine. Varrock and 5 are just 2 similar experiences, at least in my terms. That's why I'm ranking them so close. I really do like 5 just in the terms of actually just playing it. It's really fun. It's chaotic. If you take it seriously, it's going to be bad. If you don't, it's going to be fun. It's going to be a really good experience. Not much else to say about that. Now, Revelations, it's not a bad map, but it's just not one I genuinely would like to play. Like, call me crazy, but it's just kind of like meh. You know, like, it's just kind of like, I don't know. Like, if I was going to play Black Ops 3, I'm not going to be playing Revelations, okay? It's just the whole mashup of the two. I think it is really cool in terms of, oh wait, whoa, what happened here? Oops, hold up, gamers, there we go. Okay, well, so actually I'm gonna put it right here. Okay, it is a pretty good map, I'm not gonna lie. I do like the whole high round experience. I think that is really fun. I think that is really great. But the thing about it I do not like is just the whole rehash of literally everything together. It kind of just gets over the top at sometimes. I think the whole mask idea and being able to have literally a 14 or 12 hit, I don't even know what it is at this point, mask, pretty cool. I do like how they kind of waited for that to be the last kind of thing. It lets you be this overpowered beast in Revelations. I think that was pretty cool. The whole Takio thing, be able to finally get a sword after, what, 10 something years or 6? Pretty cool idea. I think that was really good. The Easter egg is pretty okay. I never really completed it. It doesn't seem like something I'd really enjoy, but the ending is very similar to, you know, Shadows of Evil. It is pretty cool how you get little Arnie's, you know, the Apothecary Servant, Thundergun. I think that is really nice. But just the whole thing that takes away from me is just the whole, you know, rehash of everything. I didn't really like it all too much. Now, Nuketown, I'm going to put this one in D tier, to be honest. I'm going to put it a little bit under Die Rise. Now, the thing about Nuketown is it doesn't offer too much. Like, it is a pretty bare bones experience, but even then, I'm still going to play Town over it. Nuketown's just kind of one of those things that if you pre-ordered it, you kind of got it with it. But the thing I don't like about this is I do like chaotic nature when it comes to survival maps, but I don't like when Jug comes on literally round 25. Okay, that makes no sense to me at all, and I don't know why anybody would do it. I don't think it's a good idea. But I don't know, not much else to say about Nuketown. We've had it plenty of times, and you know, multiplayer as well, so not too much of a difference. It's literally the same size and everything. It's just the same. Now here, let me scroll up a little bit. I cannot wait to get my computer. I'm doing this on a MacBook, guys. Literally pain. Now the thing with Ascension Chronicles, I do like it, but I feel like the Gobblegums kind of take away from the Ascension feel. I'm not gonna lie. I know it does add gameplay variety, technically speaking, but I feel like the Gobblegum just takes away from it just a little too much. I feel like being able to have all your perks on this hat also kind of gets annoying. A lot of people don't really realize it, but if you have all your perks, the monkeys just take it away. There's not really too much of a difference between the Chronicles version and the just OG Ascension. You know, they're still pretty good, but I just prefer the Ascension OG one. Now, Outbreak, I'm gonna put this at I'm gonna put this a little bit higher than the World at War maps. In terms of speaking, I'm gonna put this about right right there. I do like it, but at the same time, it does kind of get repetitive. Actually, I'm gonna put this a little bit lower. Put this a little bit lower. I'm gonna put this right here. Okay, the thing with Outbreak is it's great for the first 5 rounds. That's it. Everything gets really repetitive afterwards. I mean, literally on launch, you had 3 maps, 3 variants of gameplay, and it just got really overdone, and it just does the same thing over and over. And once you play it just a certain amount of times, it just gets really boring, and it's not really fun. I mean, I feel like a lot of people can agree with me on that. It's not terrible, but it's definitely not the best. Hands down not. I've not played Carrier. Okay, so we got the final 4 left. Transit. Now, I feel like a lot of people bad rep Transit. I feel like it's really fun, but I'm still going to put it at a D tier, okay? It's a high D. Now, the thing that makes Transit a high D is literally just how the gameplay works. I love how the gameplay works, but just the functions of the actual game is more so what I meant. The thing about Transit is, well, you literally just run into so many issues. You have the fog, the denizens, the Avogadro. All of these things are literally just meant to slow you down and just not trying to crash your game. Like, these were just brought into the game to make sure that your PS3 or Xbox 360 didn't see those non-rendered in textures. The whole Wonder Weapon thing being a buildable and it breaking, not cool. Easter egg, very crummy. But in terms of just playing, it's actually really fun. It's so bad, it's fun, a lot of people say, and I agree with that. The only thing that doesn't make me put this up higher is just those limiting features of the old gen consoles. Now, Keener to Toten Chronicles is pretty alright. I mean, literally, it's just the same thing, ultimately speaking. But the thing about it is, it doesn't really do it in terms of everything, you know. It's just Zombies Chronicles version of it. It's just not as good, in my opinion. I feel like it's just a little too bright. Firebase C, I'm going to put this at just D. I don't really like it. I feel like the whole gameplay experience isn't very fun, but it doesn't offer too much as D Machine, but D Machine just does it better. Now, my Outer Tone, I'm going to put this at a high C. It's really good, really fun. I do like it. It does bring a lot to the table. It's kind of the same, but it's very different at the same time. But, you know, I think that's really going to wrap it up. I mean, there's not really too much to say. I think the Cerberus Wonder Weapon's pretty cool. But, I mean, you know, pretty good. I do like how the Panzer's in there. I do like all the extra things. But I mean, that's really gonna wrap it up. If you guys did enjoy, you know, leave a like, subscribe, all that cool nonsense. Made this far, you deserve a cookie. I mean, it's literally